Hi guys!
Hi!
Welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are Isabel and Tamera, and we are a queer couple here making content on YouTube, TikTok, everything. Any platform there is, we're there. I decided to do a Q&A today, which is a little bit different. We haven't done one of these in probably like 3 years. And we have a lot of new faces on Instagram and on here especially. So we just thought we would have you guys ask us some questions over on our Instagram. And here we are about to answer them.
How long have you been together and how did you guys meet? We've been together for 6 years, which is absolutely insane to say. I feel like we both, when we started dating, we were hoping that this would be a long time, but we just had no idea what was going to happen because we were so young.
Yeah, we were 18 and 19 when we started dating, and now we are 24 and 25. So.
And we also started long distance, so we just didn't know if like we were ever going to break the distance, how long that would even take. And I definitely didn't think that we'd end up actually living in New York City, being 6 years into our relationship. Oh, and how did we meet? So we met on Twitter. We're both big fans of Alessia Cara, who is a music artist. For most of you that might not know, she sings Scars, Here, How Far I'll Go, all those songs. And we actually met in person at a music festival for her, where all our friends like met up from all around the world. Tamara's from Nebraska, so she traveled all the way from Nebraska. It was just in Long Island for me, so it wasn't that bad, but it was crazy.
Yeah, that was the first time we ever met in person. But we were best friends for a whole year before that, and then it was like 3 months or so after that music festival we started dating. And it was very easy because we were already so close as best friends, so I think that kind of helped with us like having a really good foundation and being able to last as long as we did long distance. And it was worth it because now we have our own place. Do you have any regrets in life?
I don't think so for me personally, because I feel like everything that I've done has helped me understand what I want and what I don't want. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, do I regret moving here? But I also feel like I needed this to help me grow and realize that life is not easy. And this is going to help me go to the next thing.
I think like everything you go through in life, even if it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to you, it truly makes you who you are. And you don't know what's a wrong decision until you make that decision. So no, I don't have any regrets. Hardest conversation we've ever had?
I definitely feel like anything to do with our drives has been hard, especially towards the beginning, because it just like felt like emotional and very it's not like black and white, like there's just so much that goes into that, so it just feels like you keep talking about it, but it's just like it's more than just like a yes or a no, or like okay, do this and it's just all fixed.
We have like very different sex drives, and so that's been a hard conversation we've had to have many times because it just like leaves, you know, us not having needs met, and it's a really hard conversation to have in general because sex is such like a taboo subject, but it's something we've like, the more we've talked about it, we've been more comfortable talking about it, and I feel like we're at a really good place with it. Most stressful moment in your life, and how did you overcome it?
Probably when we first moved here and I got a job that I thought was going to be rainbows and roses, because I like really wanted something full time, and I was like, if I get this job, this is going to take us here, which it did. And I was like, oh my god, okay, I got a job that's going to get us here. And then you like immediately, because you got the job that got you to move to your dream city, you feel like you have to keep it because living here is very expensive. But it was just like a complete shit show. I won't name the place, but it was just very just unorganized and disrespectful, and it just, I knew that I had to get out, but I was like, oh my god, like we haven't even been here for like 6 months yet, and I'm already like quitting this job. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's not that easy to just like get another job here because there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of opportunity here, but there's a lot of competition and so many people applying to the same things. So I had to do something that would pay less, which sucked money-wise, but I did feel better because I was able to live my life how I wanted to in a less stressful way and actually be somewhere where I was treated respectfully.
a lot of immensely stressful situations happened to me in my life. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint which one was the most stressful, but I feel like I kind of agree with Isabel on this one, where this was probably the worst year of my life. And I don't know like how well we showed that necessarily on social media, because we don't want to be like a super depressing page to go to, but
I feel like some of our YouTube content has shown it, or at least we talked about it briefly.
yeah. Living in New York this year, like the first year was like so much fun because we were new to it and like naive to everything, so we just were having a blast. But this year was definitely more serious and very hard, like financially, and that's something people don't really open up and talk about a lot. But it might seem like we did a lot, and we did do a lot, but there is definitely things that we should have maybe saved our money on. It's our favorite thing to do together.
Relaxing and laying and watching movies. Anything that has to do with laying down and relaxing, whether that's like at the beach or just like laying at on a picnic in the park, watching movies, just like doing nothing but together is my favorite. And traveling is really fun, but we haven't really done many traveling by ourselves. We've done a lot of like family trips and stuff. We've been on one, which was for Summerfest, but that was kind of like a work trip, so I feel like we didn't get to like soak it in as much if it wasn't for work.
Yeah, I've never been on like a vacation
To just
type thing.
relax,
Yeah. Although
which would be amazing.
we are going back, it's a family trip, but we're going to Florida in a few days. So our next video will be that vlog. So stay tuned for that. I would say the same thing. I love just like, I feel like we feel the most connected when we're just like not doing anything. Like I feel like lately we've been taking more naps, and naps are so intimate, and I feel so close to you when we take naps. I love it. But I definitely think my favorite thing is probably like sitting in the park and like just cuddling and like
Staring at the sky.
yeah.
Do you remember each other's outfits from your first date?
Ooh. I actually do.
It was shadows, right?
I have a picture of you on my
I feel
Instagram.
like that's ass. I know I was wearing light blue dress shirt and
Oh, that
blue
day.
jeans.
Wow. It's hard because again you're long distance, so
I think you were wearing a green shirt.
no, that day.
No, you were wearing a dress.
the pink dress.
Yeah. Was it love at first sight? No. I don't think it was for us because we
We're long distance.
were long distance. We were
Fine.
online and we were friends
Yeah.
when we first saw each other.
I will say.
I do think you were really pretty, but we were just like friends, and I feel like you say you wanted to be with me or whatever, but I feel like at that time we were just better off as just friends
Yeah.
because I didn't
Well,
know you, you
also-
didn't know me,
Isabel didn't even know she liked girls at this point.
which is just comical.
But-
for all the shit I've
Well,
done.
no, it wasn't love at first sight, but I was gonna say that I feel like I was always,
We had a connection.
yeah, like we had like this huge friend group, and I just always felt drawn to Isabel. Like I remember, like always tweeting her, just like to try to be her friend because I thought she was so funny. So I feel like I was always drawn to you, but definitely I feel like not love at first sight.
Yeah.
But
Not a question, but thank you for showing me that people like me, queer POC, can also find love. Thank you so much. We actually had one of our photographers tell us something,
yeah,
that they were just so happy that we were just like being part of the representation, because I feel like nowadays there's a lot more representation, but back in the day, like I would have loved to see another WLW couple that looked like us, and
no, all we had was Donald and Chrissy.
that was
I'm telling
it.
you, we would
Like
binge them.
that was it.
That
There
was
was
the only-
and then like Sky and Corinne and
But
Sky
they're
were
not.
even just like regular lesbian
Right,
couples.
yeah.
There barely was even that. But like Dabo and Chrissy, like really shook the table. So it was
Yeah.
like finally someone that was like interracial and gay and like vlogging and like showing the world like their relationship. Like we used to watch them all the time.
Yeah, we did.
If you could talk to your 10-year-old self, what advice would you give them? Tell her to just. I would say to just keep doing what you're doing, but I also did do that.
I was gonna say,
someone
Isabel-
that's very. I've been hardcore at this shit, y'all.
I'm gonna say also, Isabel is just like the most healthy person I know. Like mentally healthy. Like I feel like there's just like
Yeah, because I was like, I would tell her to keep going, but I was like, wait, well, she definitely kept going, all right,
Yeah.
in every
You're
way,
literally
shape, or
doing
form.
what you're
Exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Just find joy in what you can,
Yeah.
and to keep dreaming. I've always been someone who's just like been like this little Nebraska girl who's like, I want to live in New York City, and I did it because I kept dreaming about it, and so many people are like, you're never gonna do that. Like, how do you think you're gonna like get there? And here I am. But just in general, to just like hang on and keep dreaming, because I feel like the more you dream when things are not good in your life, it brings you into like a fake imaginary world to kind of like get you through.
Outside of each other, what is something that motivates each of you every day? I feel like my answer would have been music, but I feel like I don't really do that anymore. I feel like I'm like in a rut right now. I feel like just nothing that used to like brings me joy anymore, which is actually so depressing.
Something that motivates me, money does not motivate me. Like, if
Oh,
I
me either.
didn't have to work, I
We wouldn't.
wouldn't go to work. What motivates me, I think, is just like having experiences, like being able to like
very true.
travel. Like, I know if I get up and go to work and I get up and do things, that it'll pay off and I'll get some type of experience in the world.
That's okay.
Later on.
As someone from a small city, what is the queer scene like in the big city? A lot of times we have to do photos in public. I still get nervous and scared because I just don't know how some people will react, but I definitely feel so much better doing that here than maybe when we went to Wisconsin or like Texas or other places like that. They're just like outrageously homophobic.
Yeah, same here. Like, I'm also from a small town, and there wasn't very much representation. Like, now looking back, there's like a few people that were queer in like middle school and high school, but definitely like not enough for me to feel like safe. And I also think just like with how it's progressed, like on social media, just seeing more queer news and queer things happening, it kind of like gives you this acceptance, because it's just different when it's just a few people in school. But yeah, like I also at the end of high school, that's when I like was like, oh wow, I'm really a lesbian. But I was like, there's no way I would come out in high school, because it was just terrifying. Like, people are just not nice, and so I knew I was gonna wait until after high school to ever like come out. And then I think like my first time coming to New York and I knew I was gay and going to Pride here is when I was like, this is like transformative. Like, I was so proud to be
It's so
gay.
different here.
And
In a good way.
yeah, it's amazing.
Do you think it's important to come out? I've always said that I feel like it's not necessary, or it shouldn't be necessary, but I feel like people feel this like intense amount of pressure to come out when they realize, okay, I am lesbian, or I am gay, or I am trans, or whatever the case may be. You feel like, okay, so now I know what I am, and now I feel like I need to announce it to the world. But to me, I feel like for a lot of people that has put more damage on them than it has helped them. I feel like you're lucky if it goes well. For me, it went very well. My family is super supportive. They love Tamera as their own, and I actually had a really good, healthy coming out story. But I feel like there's a lot of people that like feel pressure to come out once they know what their label is, and then like you have people from high school that are like, oh, well, that's weird, or blah blah blah, or like family members are like kicking you out of your house or just treating you differently. Whereas if they just didn't say anything at all and they just kept that sacred in their heart and only told people that they know care about them, I feel like they would have had an easier transition into this new world.
Yeah.
And like for you, I know you've always said that you're glad that you didn't tell your grandpa.
Yeah.
Because that probably would have been awful for you.
Yeah. I think overall, if I think it's important, I do, because I feel like to live your whole life like being not your authentic self is very, very sad and depressing, and I think everybody deserves to be who they are and to love who they are for like their whole life. But I do think it's important to, if you are very unsure, like if you have heard your family saying homophobic things or transphobic things, like I do think it's okay to wait until you feel safe to do so. Like I said with my grandpa, like I'm so glad he never knew, because I don't think it would have went well at all. And it's fine, like I don't, now that he's gone, I don't feel like I regret telling him, because I just know it wouldn't have went well. And honestly, I feel like if you can tell the vibes aren't gonna be well or be good, then I think even like moving out first and then coming out helps, because
you protect your own peace. Do you ever miss that your family isn't like 5 minutes away from you? Thing, and I don't know if anyone else has felt this, especially with my mom. As soon as they like dropped me off here when we moved in, I just started bawling. Like I was like hyperventilating. I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I did the wrong thing. And like you wanted me to move in, or like you wanted to like head an apartment like at the very beginning of our relationship, and we were like talking about it, and I was like, oh my god, no, I would never do that. Love you, but I'm staying in my mom's house forever. Like I don't want to be out in the real world. I don't want any of that. If anything, you're gonna come in the basement with me, because I'm not doing that. And now I'm like, wow, I'm like living in New York City. But like when she dropped me off, I was just like instant tears. But now I'm just like, I love having my own space, and I love just being able to do whatever we want at any time. I don't have to ask someone for permission. But I feel like right now I don't know if it's just because everything in my life just feels so heavy with like getting jobs and like wanting to move, but like not having enough money, or like just like not like just so many things I have to figure out, that right now I just feel like it's so hard. I just feel like there's something about like moving out. It's so hard to like be everything at once. It's so hard to be a good girlfriend. It's so hard to be a good person. It's so hard to be a good daughter, a good sister, a good niece. Like everything all at once, and you have to be all of that. And you also have to be a good friend, and you also have to be a good coworker. And like, I like people text me and I just like don't answer them. Like my brother texted me the other day and I didn't answer him until like 5 days later. Cause like I saw it, but like I just can't. Like I just, like everything feels so heavy. And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a shitty sister. And then I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even text my parents. How are you? Are you breathing? Are you okay? Like, and then they're like always checking in on me. And then I'm like, oh my god, like they're always checking in first, and I'm never sending them anything. But like I just actually can't. I don't have the capacity to even do it.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
I feel like I'm able to talk to my family better being at a distance from them, but I will say sometimes I feel very guilty about like not reaching out as often as I'd like to my sisters and like to my grandma. Like it makes me feel guilty all the time, but I just feel like every time I contact them, I hear something that makes me angry. Like someone did something that makes me so angry, and then it's just like this cycle of just like not being happy.
Which is more important, quality time with a significant other or effective communication? One of the most important things I think is effective communication. Just because if you can't even communicate and like be honest with each other, I feel like your relationship can't really go anywhere.
It's like, I feel like when you don't communicate things and talk through everything, like even little things, like then I feel like things just
like
get
trust issues,
like hostile, or like more fighting.
Yeah.
But like we tell each other everything, like
Everything.
any thought I have, like even if it has nothing to do with us, like I pretty much tell her everything, and I think it keeps like our relationship just so open and safe that we can tell each other anything, and we just never.
But like
really
when we
fight.
say everything, like we actually mean everything. Like I can't even give that example.
Yeah.
But I just like we literally. There's nothing we haven't said that's like not already on the table.
We both have physical touch like love languages, because even if we're on our phones,
We'll be like holding hands.
we're
like
either
backwards.
holding hands or like our feet are touching. Like we're always touching. So I think we both have physical touch as a love language, but quality time, like I definitely feel like we both every now and then are like, okay, like I kind of feel like even though we're always together, I feel like we haven't spent time together.
Yeah, it needs to be like no phones, no TV, just like holding each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
God.
I had lip gloss on, but you just look so
Disgusting.
We've been kind of like bringing it up lately, and we're really excited, but we are moving.
Next year.
Yeah, we're moving.
A few
next
more
year.
months, but also it like feels far, but it's going to come really fast. We've talked about it a little bit more on TikTok than anything else. I don't want to jinx anything or anything, so we just haven't really like made a whole video about it or anything because I don't know what's going to happen.
The goal is California, which
Yes,
I know.
I know.
Very cliche. It's LA. We actually really wanted to live in like Orange County, but we didn't realize how racist and homophobic it is. So we are just looking back at LA. But we're really excited to be like in nature again and like have a car again, and the weather. I just feel like it'll suit us a lot better. I think we both are more slow-paced people.
Being a place where I feel so at home. I feel like this apartment is so much better than anything I ever thought we would have. When we were going on these apartment tours here, it was scary. You were lucky if you had one window and it wasn't facing a brick wall. The first two places weren't even the ones that they were advertising. There was mouse poop everywhere. Like it was just like chaos. And then we found this place, and I had something, like there was something about this place that I really, really wanted. It just felt big, and it is a one bedroom in Manhattan, and we got it for $1,500 because of a COVID deal, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like absolutely
Like this
insane.
is a good deal for Manhattan.
But I don't necessarily feel at home here. Like when we come home after a long day, I'm like, okay, I'm home. But it's not giving me what I feel like I need in my soul.
We've been to New York a lot because we lived upstate. So it's not like we were new to New York, but it's so much different being here every single day versus just coming for like a day. I really value nature and grass and trees, and I really can't wait, especially for California with like warm weather all year round. I really just can't wait to spend time outside more. Like in New York, we spent a lot of time outside, but I will say this year we were just so, honestly, I feel like we both were pretty depressed and like just exhausted. Like from a year of living here, like our bodies are exhausted from like the stairs and then working physically and demanding jobs. So we honestly didn't even go out that much this summer because like it was just like when we have a day off, if we don't rest because we have such physical jobs, then going up the stairs and then the subway stairs, it's just really tiring.
Thank you so much for sending in all your questions. If you just sent one now and we didn't get to it, we'll definitely get to you next time. We love doing these Q&As. I feel like it helps you guys learn more about us. We haven't done one in a few years, honestly. And thank you so much for the love on TikTok. I feel like this year has been the biggest year for us on TikTok especially. And it's actually so crazy to think that when we did move here, we only had like barely 10,000, and now I think today we're at 104K, which is just insane. So thank you so much. We love you guys so much, and next week you guys will be getting a Tampa vlog, going back home with our family.
We're so
My
excited.
brother, and the following week we'll have some exciting little festive things with a special guest.
2 special guests.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Love you guys.